Yo, what's good, guys? It's been a long time since I've made a YouTube video, so today we're just going to be making it on Warframe because I've been addicted to this game for the last few months, and man, this is an amazing game. There's so much crap you can do in this game, but for now, what I'm thinking on doing is that I'm gonna freaking make a tutorial on how to actually get to from start to finish in Warframe, so that way you'll have access to all that the game has to offer, from the tutorial quest all the way down to like the hex stuff, which is like the newest stuff in the game. And the hex stuff is pretty freaking cool. So is all this other stuff too. It's all pretty cool too. But yeah, we're gonna start with the tutorial, work our way all the way down, and then we're also gonna talk about the star chart too, which is like your missions. We'll talk about that later, but right now, you're booting up the game, you're making your account. This is going to be the first thing you're going to do. So this is the Awakening quest. I will go over the tutorial for you. So I'm going to skip the cutscene and just go straight into the game. So, alrighty. I skipped the cutscene to save for spoilers or something. So yeah. So, when you watch the cutscene, this is what you're gonna see. We got Excalibur, we got Mag, and we got Volt. So those are your three options. They're all pretty good frames, but I highly recommend you pick Volt, but Mag and Excalibur are just as good. Now the reason why I say Volt is because he's actually pretty hard to get early on if you don't pick him. You have to be in a clan to get Volt, and I'll talk about clans later on. Right now we're just going to do tutorial area. I will explain all their kits real quick, just to make it a little quick. So, each character, or each Warframe, so these are the three starting Warframes. There's about 60 of them in the game, and these are the first three. Excalibur, Mag, Volt. So, each Warframe has their own abilities. They have like 5 abilities, 1 passive ability, and then 4 normal abilities. Now, your passive is like, you don't really do anything with it, but your other abilities, you have to press buttons for them. So, I'm on PlayStation, so it's right bumper, X, right bumper, square. You have to hold right bumper and then press one of the other buttons to activate an ability. And if you already have that ability activated, you can just tap R1 and there you go. Alright, now I'm going to explain all their passives real quick. So Excalibur's passive, this is the one that I picked, and I was a dumbass for picking Excalibur. I should have picked Volt because he's actually a pretty good frame and he's hard to get in the early game. So Excalibur's passive, he can do 10% more damage and attack 10% faster when he uses a sword. So any sword in the game, Excalibur's good with it. He does more damage and he attacks faster with it. So that's his passive. Pretty decent. Not too bad. So if you're gonna main an Excalibur, use swords. Always have a sword as your melee weapon because you can attack and do more damage with a sword. Hammers, spears, daggers, I don't know, Zaws. I'll explain Zaws in like a different video or something, but yeah. Swords is what you're going to use for Excalibur, because yeah. His first ability is Slash Dash. He just does a slash, pretty basic stuff. You can also incorporate this in your moveset. And yeah, there's the drain and shit. Radial Blind, it's just an AoE attack, nothing too special. It's okay, I guess. Radial Javelin, another AoE attack, also okay. But the main ability, this is the last ability, this is what they're known for, this is the Exalted Blade. You summon a sword, and you just do tons and tons of damage. Like, holy crap. So that's Excalibur. Mag. Mag's passive is nearby enemies gravitate toward Mag. So yeah, when you play as Mag, enemies just gravitate towards you, like they just go towards you, or something like that. So that's Mag's passive. So that's pretty good for melee kills. Her first ability is Pull. You just stun enemies, make them go wee everywhere. That's funny. Magnetize. You tap it to enclose it or something, and then you hold it to surround yourself in a magnetic field. So yeah. Polarize. So that's pretty good. I guess it makes like a big old shield or something. Big old AoE attack. And then we got Crush. So pretty good for farming. Mag is pretty good for farming crap in the game. So if you like to collect a lot of loot, Mag's pretty good for that. Also has pretty good AoE attacks. Alright, now let's talk about Volt. Volt's probably pretty good. He's very versatile. His passive is that his ground movement can gravitate electrical charge, dealing up to 10 damage per meter as unleashed with the next attack. That's pretty good. So yeah, every time when he moves around, he can generate electricity for an attack or something. So that's pretty cool. His first ability, Shock, he just shoots an electrical projectile. Nothing too fancy. Now, this is the one that you'll want to be using a lot. Speed. This is pretty good. It increases your parkour velocity and your sprint speed, and it builds up over time, which I think is pretty cool. Electric Shield deflects bullets, and you can move it around, and yeah, you can move it around too, which I think is pretty cool, but it's only for like one direction, not all four directions, sadly. And then we got Discharge. It stuns all enemies. Yeah, I think it does passive electric. I'm not too sure if it does passive, but I don't think it does. But yeah, it stuns all the enemies. So that's pretty cool. And you can pick the colors. So yeah. I'm gonna be going for Volt. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using Volt. Alrighty, let's do this.
Quick, use your power. Defend
All
yourself.
we gotta do is just tap right bumper. Or if you're on PC, I don't know what it is for PC, but it'll tell you on the screen. So just spam right bumper or whatever button it tells you on the enemies. Alright. The game will pretty much tell you how to
An
play it.
extraction ship is waiting for you, but the Grenier will be hunting you.
Alright.
Arm yourself.
So how movement works is running around and crap like that. That's not how you do it. Alright? Most video games you just run around like this, like you tap left stick. But in this game, you'll want to be jumping around a lot, so it's about this little pattern. So I call this the bullet jump. So you hold down left bumper, you tap X, and you tap again for double jump. You can double jump it again. Slide, jump, jump. And then you can also hover in the air and roll in the air, which is pretty cool. But I'll explain about that later on. Right now we're going to pick our weapons. Now, the objective point looks like this yellow symbol right here. So that's your objective point. And it says it on the top left too. Find a melee weapon. Here's the marked cache. So we can pick a sword, or we can pick a bow. Now, if he was running Excalibur, definitely pick a sword. I was a dumbass and picked the staff. I don't know why I did. But yeah, if you run Excalibur, if you pick Excalibur, pick the sword. You'll do 10% more damage and 10% more attack speed. But since I'm using Volt, I'm just going to go with whatever. Because yeah. Now the bow has a more range because it's a longer weapon. So yeah, longer weapons have more range on them, which I think is pretty cool. You can just, I don't know, just spam attack, and then you press up on the D-pad, or if you're PC, I don't know how PC works. Just press whatever. I don't know. PC players, you're gonna have to be patient because I don't know the buttons for that. Up on D-pad, use your map. That's pretty useful. And there's a mini-map on top left. On the top right, the red numbers is your health, and the blue numbers is your shields. And then you got your name, Volt, and then the number next to it is your rank. And then the other symbol next to it, that's your buff. You're going to be having a lot of buffs whenever you put more stuff on your, or upgrade your character. Now, double jump, you just tap X again, or A on Xbox. On PC, I don't even know what it is. Probably space, I don't know. But yeah. Now, since you just started this game, I recommend you loot everywhere. Just check every nook and cranny for loot. You can hold it to crouch, or you could just run, or you could just tap to roll, or you could just hold the slide, so you can slide under it too. So yeah, slide, and now we're gonna be sneaking. So I'll show you how stealth attack works.
There's
so
a cache of weapons
you
ahead.
crouch.
Grab what you can.
You go behind him and he's not expecting a thing. Alright. And then you press square or X to do a stealth attack. I don't know what it is for PC. I'm sorry PC players, I don't know. But yeah. And now we're looking at secondary weapons. Oh, he spotted me. Dang. So, you can either go the silent route and pick up kunai, or you can grab a pistol. I'm gonna grab the pistol, because why not? I like making noise. Obviously you shoot and aim. If you play shooter games, you obviously know how the controls work. So yeah, just use your basic shooting controls. Shooty, shooty, shooty. And fun fact, if you hold your melee weapon out, if you have your melee weapon equipped, if you have it unholstered and the enemy shoots you, you can actually deflect their bullets. And it increases your combo, which I think is pretty cool. Now combo meter is that little at the bottom right. I'll speak about the bottom right. So the bottom right, your weapon that you're using.
Good. The extraction point is up
Alright,
ahead.
same thing.
Hurry, before Vor finds out you've
And then
escaped.
the 4 symbols is your abilities. And then that little bar at the bottom, that's your energy. So whenever you cast an ability, it costs some of your energy. Which I'll do that as soon as I get to this enemy up here. I think there's more enemies up here. Yep, right here. See, look, I just used some of my energy, and there are some stuff in the game that can automatically passively replenish your energy. Okay, here it is, bullet jump. You hold left bumper, tap X. Easy stuff. And then you can also look up, and then you can also bullet jump upwards too, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool movement. I really like the movement in this game. It's so smooth. See, look, more loot. This is what you want to be doing as a super beginner, looking for loot stuff, because we're all poor as hell in this game. Alright, so the red indicator is an enemy, or a boss fight. Speaking of boss, we got the boss's name. The blue bar is the shield, the yellow one's the health. Every boss in the game, you have to take down their shields first before you take down their health, and their shields replenish as well. So that's the one thing that sucks about bosses. So I'm just gonna freaking just beat them up. There we go. I just took down the shields. Now you'll be able to take down his health as well. This is the tutorial, so we're not really gonna complete it. Now we gotta defend ourselves.
Get to the console and release the lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship.
Alright.
It's your only chance.
Got these guys down. Alright, this is hacking, so everybody has this little Assassin's Creed blade called the Parazone. It's used for hacking, and it's also used for finishing moves, or finisher kills. Well, we're going to demonstrate that later, but we'll run into it eventually.
The Queen wants to destroy you, but I need to know more.
Alrighty. We just picked up a blue orb. I can just freeze that crap for a second. I'll edit to it. Anyways, primary weaponing. We can go the silent route and use a bow, or we can go loud and proud, guns blazing. So I'm gonna pick the Bratton, because why not? I suck at sneaking in this game, so I'm just gonna use gun. Now, guns are doo-doo cheeks, but I'm way better with melee weapons, so I can just zoom in and just whack them with my stick if I wanted to. But yeah, you'll definitely want to be looting shit. You'll get ammo, loot, credits. Credits is the main currency. I'll just take a look at the pause menu real quick. So I'm going to explain the pause menu. Alright. This crap at the bottom, I'll explain that crap later. Right now we're just going to worry about the stuff up here. So, up here we got the profile. Alright. The number next to your profile, that's your mastery rank. Alright. So mastery rank is basically like your account level. Doesn't mean that you're better at the game. Alright, doesn't mean that you have good shit. Alright, it just means if you've been playing for a long time. And that's what mastery rank pretty much is. And all these little numbers next to your stuff, that's your like regular ranks. And the maximum amount is rank 30. And then you'll have to refresh it if you want to put better stuff on it. So, alright, now let's explain the top right. So this right here, this number right here, that's credits. It is the main currency in the game. You will be I don't know. You get credits by just playing the game. Easy, because credits is the main currency. You mainly use credits to upgrade your mods, and I'll explain about mods later on. There's a lot of stuff I gotta explain. So, and then this symbol is your boosters. So, a credit booster. Affinity is like XP for your Warframe and weapons. And then platinum, that's the premium currency. There is a way to get platinum for free. Alright? You can actually get platinum in the game for free without actually using real money. Which is pretty cool. And this plus symbol is when you want to invite friends to the game, so it's pretty cool. So, I'll explain more about this stuff later on. And then, I'll explain this later on too. Let's keep playing the game. Alrighty. Here we are. Wait. Oh dang. I thought I could switch into my other character for a second. That's gonna be for another video. So, anyways, here we go, hacking. So this is the Parazon. Alright, there's many hacking things. All you have to do is just tap the jump button, and there you go. That's hacking for you. Hacking is pretty easy.
Stop touching me, you. What? Are my senses
And
deceiving
then,
me? Operator,
yeah.
is that you?
Enemy reinforcements are here. Ship Cephalon. We require
Now,
immediate extraction.
Lotus and Ortis, they will not look like that. See, Ortis will not look like that when you start the game. Alright? He won't look like a little drone. He'll be this little hologram thingy, and then Lotus will have a mask on.
You will return to me.
So that's what y'all are going to be seeing when you first boot up Warframe, when you first play it for the first time. Since I played this game before, I could customize them both. Or I don't know. If you beat the game, Ortis will change, but you can customize Lotus once you beat the game. So I think that's really cool. You just gotta defend the ship. That's all you gotta do, just kill enemies. Your ship's not gonna take damage, just kill enemies. And if the timer runs out, it'll mark the rest of the enemies for you, and you can just kill them. Easy peasy. And that's the tutorial. Alright, so that was the tutorial of Warframe. This is the very first quest you're gonna complete. Once you make an account and play Warframe for the very first time, that's what you're gonna be doing. So after you do that, it'll just throw you right into the hub area. Now my hub area looks completely different from what y'all's is gonna look like. Because I'm in the end game, that's why. So I'm gonna show you what the hub area looks like when you first get brought into the game. All this crap is just later on in the game. So here's the star chart. This is what it will look like. This is your mission select screen. So that's pretty cool. I will switch to my other hub area, and it is called the Orbiter. This is the very first hub area in the game. And look, you can move around on the loading screen, which I think is pretty cool. So this is the Orbiter. Now, my Orbiter is pretty decorated, so it's going to look nothing like this. It's going to look basic and plain. Alright? So after you complete the tutorial, it's just going to throw you right into the game. You won't even know what the hell to do next. So, yeah. I'm going to give you a whole tour of the area. Well, not really a whole tour. There's 3 other areas that are down there. That's spoilers. I'm not going to do that yet. But this is the front. This is the main area. We have your syndicates. You get to pick a syndicate, level up for it. I'll explain about that in another video. This is like your updates. This is how you view like the latest and greatest stuff in Warframe, like the newest stuff. So news and community and stuff. This is for a different video. This screen is the market, so this is like your item shop. So you buy platinum with this. You can also search up for stuff if you want. So pretty cool stuff. This is your codex. This tells you about all the lore and stuff. This is where you can also track your quests. So we got your main quests, we got your Warframe quests, and we got side quests. So you can do your quests.
Operator, Ordis has been interfacing with the
All
Foundry's
this is
AI
just lore and
presence.
stuff.
You
Well,
could
not
say
really
we
lore.
forged
This isn't
a
lore.
new
This is all the
connection.
stuff that you can collect. So, wow, I have every companion. I got every companion in the game. That's cool. I didn't know that. Objects. So, like, this is all the crap you collect. Wait a minute. I don't think I have every companion in the game. I think all of these is like the companions that I've done. I don't think I have every companion in the game. I don't have every Warframe in the game either. And we got factions. Bunch of factions. Adversaries, which is, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff to explain. Weapons, there is a lot of weapons in the game. There is so many weapons. This is pretty much all the weapons there is in the game. Yeah, there's a lot of weapons. Warframe has so many weapons. Guns, swords, what else? Shurikens, infested guns, infested swords, kunai, bows, axes, hell, whatever the hell this is, I don't even know. What else? Pretty cool stuff. Art gallery. So this is all like collection stuff, and then this is mods. So I'll explain what mods are later. The Levern is pretty much the lore of all the Warframes, so you get to learn their history and stuff. Now training, that just shows you the basics of like what missions are, or other stuff. And then we got, okay, this is missions. Here's every mission type in the game. This is Railjack. This is like a pirate ship in space or something. That's for another video. So, and then this right here is your Nightwave. This is pretty much your free battle pass.
Who have we got on the line? Oh yeah.
This is
I don't have a
literally
line.
a free battle pass. You can get all this stuff for free. And the only way you can grind for it is by completing battle pass quests. So, have their own standing and stuff. And you also have a battle pass currency right here called cred offering, or Nor's mixed credits. That's what they're called. And then this is the battle pass shop. You can buy mods, skins, weapon skins, a whole Warframe, other stuff. Pretty cool stuff.
Till then.
Alright, that's pretty much everything on the cockpit part of the orbiter. Now we're gonna go in the other area. Don't mind these are my vacuum cleaners. This is your foundry. aka the crafting table. Yes, you can craft in this game. Like I just said, you can collect the resources in the game and use resources to craft stuff and sell stuff. Hey, I'm not judging you. Everybody likes getting some currency in this game. So this is your foundry. You can craft stuff in the game. So, oh, would you looky here? I got me a forma. I'll explain what forma does in another video. So, I'm gonna make another one. Now, some stuff in the game take days to complete, which is why there's so much stuff you can do in the game. So you can pretty much do other stuff while this is being worked on. And I can already craft all this stuff. So it's just weapon parts, weapons, I don't know, skin parts, other parts, mining parts. Ciphers are pretty good. I can craft a couple of those. I'll craft one right now. These are your mods. I'll explain what those do. So this is your whole collection of the mods. Arcanes, I'll explain what arcanes do in another video. I'm not going to spoil arcanes. Incubator, I'm not going to explain that yet. This is your arsenal. Alright? This is how you can access your weapons and your warframes and your companions. Look at that. I have an infested dog. I named him Mr. Fart Nugget because it's a funny name. And then this is your gear. So you can access gear, and there's also emotes in the game. So we have emotes. And then the heavy weapons. I'm just gonna rock this heavy weapon. Vehicles. Yes, there's vehicles in the game. All this crap I'm showing you, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff.
Project complete.
And then I'm not gonna go down there yet. I'm gonna savor that for another video. So that's pretty much what you need to know in the orbiter area. But since you're a beginner, alright, since you just got over here, what I highly recommend you do after you complete the tutorial is just complete missions. Just conquer the start chart. So I'm gonna boot up the origin system real fast. So the very first mission you're gonna be doing is E Prime. It's a simple exterminate mission. All you do is just get kills. That's all you freaking do. So how you're supposed to do it? Alright, you start on Earth, you make your way down towards the Venus junction, and then you go to Venus, and then you go to Mercury, then you go back to Earth, and you make your way to Mars, so on and so forth. So right now, just complete missions. If they flash blue, I'll switch to my extra difficulty version. So this is called Steel Path, which is like plus 100 stuff, more loot and stuff. To unlock Steel Path, you gotta complete every single mission on normal difficulty, which is the origin system. So if a mission flashes blue, that means it has to be completed. It needs to be completed. But if it's just normal, that means you've already done it. So what I highly recommend you do is you just complete missions until you get to the Venus junction. Just complete these couple missions down here until you make it down to the Venus junction. And then once you reach a junction, you have to do what the junction tells you to do, which is to complete a quest and to rank up mods. And you can get all these rewards once you get the junction completed. So that's freaking cool. Alrighty. And then I'm gonna be playing solo. So I'm not gonna play every single mission for y'all, but I will play the mission types for y'all. So that way y'all have a basic understanding of what all this crap is. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, pretty cool stuff. Anyways, that's about does it for today's Warframe tutorial. Like and sub if you want to. You don't have to, but it's an option. And stay tuned for more tutorials on Warframe, the basics. I mean, there's a ton of them out there, but I'm trying to be as simple as I can. And, alrighty. See you next time.